Welcome. Welcome to the Radio Toons podcast, guys. How's it going?
Going good, man.
I'm Steve.
I'm Ernie.
Hey, guess what?
What?
They announced a new character for Overwatch this week. How much do you care about that, Ernie?
I don't. And not to say that Overwatch isn't a good game. It clearly is a great game. I just haven't played it in so long. It's hard to get excited about it.
But yeah, so they announced Brigetti. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
And
so,
if I'm not mistaken, she's paired with Torbjorn.
Yeah, she's Torb's daughter.
Oh, is she really? Okay,
yeah,
that makes
and
sense.
Reinhardt's squire, if you will, his underling. And she's pretty cool, I gotta say. A lot of people obviously like her design. She's a cute girl in armor, so you know.
She's buff though, like the other girl.
She's not super buff, but she's not.
No, but she has the definition. You know, she looks like she can.
I don't know. They don't have any
throw a mean punch.
Sure, yeah. But today they actually just released all of her skins and stuff as well on PTR. So like, not only do you get to play her now, but you can unlock all of her stuff, like her highlight intros and her skins and her emotes and all that shit. So it's pretty exciting. I was looking through them and I was like, I really like this character. She plays really cool. It's I definitely like when they add characters that don't have guns, because it feels like I'm playing a different game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she uses a flail, which is like almost like a mace or something with like a chain on it. So it's basically just a big weight on a chain. So her primary fire is like she swings it from side to side. And then her shift attack is she throws it like really far and it like bonks somebody with it. And
That's
it
neat.
it like pushes them too. But she's actually a support class, so she's a healer. And the way she heals is when you do damage with her flail, it sends out like a little ring around her and it heals whoever's around you. So it's kind of like...
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I really like when they do that. Like, it's kind of like Anna, where like if Anna shoots her own teammates, she heals them, but if she shoots the bad guys, it takes damage away.
Right.
I like how they make characters designed around like game world physics, if that makes sense. You know, obviously, if it was real life, it wouldn't be the bullets wouldn't be able to distinguish who's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like. But I like how in the game they're always thinking about how like how does it work in the Overwatch game before it works in the real world? Right. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. I have no idea if any of that makes sense, but
somebody got it. Yeah. Somebody understood that.
Yeah. And so Bridget, she's support class. She has her E attack is like it's like a healing little thing that she throws at people.
Okay.
But if you have full health, it gives you like a stack of armor at the end of your health.
Okay.
So it's like basically always worth it just to throw it at one of your teammates if they need it. And
always be chucking that. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then her final thing is she has like a shield, like a little mini Reinhardt shield.
Okay.
Which looks so badass.
Like of light?
Yeah, like it looks so badass when she has it out because it's like tiny and she's still really mobile while she's like running around with it. And she has like a bash with it, like a little mini Rein charge where she can bash people with it. And there's actually like kind of an exploit right now where if you hit kind of like an incline with it, as you jump, she goes like rocketing into the sky, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure if they're gonna keep that in the final game.
Yeah, I think they'll be taking that out pretty soon.
But super fun character. I love her right now, and her ult in my opinion isn't very good. But she basically a little flag comes out of the back of her suit.
Okay. And
a huge ring appears around her, and everyone in that ring gets armor.
Okay.
So it's like.
Well, I mean that's good for the
team, yeah, and then
for the when you're trying to move something, if she's standing on that thing and you're moving with the package, then I mean that's great, right?
The payload, yeah.
The payload, sorry.
And also she like moves faster while she's in it or something.
Neat, no, that's good.
Yeah, like pretty excited to see how they use her and stuff. Like a lot of people right now are saying she's anti-dive. Dive comps are what people are using right now, so it's kind of like, oh, she's the solution to.
They try to balance it out.
Yeah, which is, I mean, they try to do that every time they add a character. Like when Orisa was around, they buffed Bastion, and they kind of try to make it more of a defensive meta and stuff like that. They always do shit like that, but anyway.
Who was the one before that? Moira.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Moira is. I'm waiting for her to get nerfed because she's pretty fucking broken right now.
Really?
She is like one of the only characters that I can play and get like every medal, like gold damage, gold healing, gold like limbs, and then gold objective, whatever. Like She's way too good. She does way too much damage. She does way too much healing, and she's too mobile. She escapes from situations so easy. But yeah. So and you know what's funny?
What?
Doomfist is the only guy character they've added. It's been
That can't be true.
Yeah, it's been Anna. It's been Sombra, Orisa.
Oh shoot, you're right.
It's Doomfist, and then now Moira and Brigetti. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a
Maybe
lot.
they're just playing the crowd. They know they like the women's.
Yeah, I wonder if they're trying to get like an even number of
guys and
girls in there. You know,
could be.
I don't know. Yeah. Who knows?
Although, isn't Moira transgender?
No.
Sorry, just
you know how people get upset if you assume the gender.
Oh
right?
damn
so
it!
just
I'm sorry.
Don't even do that, man. All right.
Sorry.
You better watch it. But yeah, enough about that because Ernie doesn't give a shit about Overwatch.
It's not that I don't give a shit about it. It's just I don't play.
We watched a movie this week.
Watched 2 actually.
I only watched one. We watched a little cult classic indie film. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Like people that bust ghosts.
Mm-hmm. And it makes them feel pretty good, apparently.
It's really funny because I just downloaded the game from Steam.
Yeah.
And like it's so funny now to play that game because like my PC has a 980.
Uh-huh.
And so it renders way better than the cutscenes now.
Oh yeah.
So like it's just a fun coincidence that I was playing that game and now we're watching the movie again cuz like they said the video game was like a spiritual successor to the movies.
Yeah, it's basically part 3 because like the voices were there, right?
Right.
Harold Ramis was still alive when that was out, right?
Yeah.
They got Ernie Hudson, right?
Yep. Everybody's there.
Everybody was there.
Bill Murray.
Yeah, and that guy never wants to do anything. No. So like, they had all the characters there, and then you're kind of in place of like the new guy, right?
Yeah, you're the rookie.
You don't talk, right, in that game?
Yes, I think the guy does talk. You're not like some blank face because they do give him a face, and he's in the elevator and he interacts with them.
Yeah,
but you're not. You definitely talk at some point.
When we were at G4, that was one of the first games I had to play for G4, and they made me play the whole thing. And I had never seen a Ghostbusters movie at that point in my life. So people were like walking by the desk and watching me play, and they're just like, "Oh, that's a painting from like part 2," and I'm just like, "What?"
It's Vigo.
Yeah, I'm just like, "What?"
I don't get it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
One of my like prized possessions are like little pieces of swag that I have that's like really cool is that I have the original, like during the original release of Ghostbusters, a video game, they gave away these license plates that say October, and it says Ecto 1, which is the license plate for the car, but like it didn't come out until like the following May or something.
Oh, it got pushed back?
It got pushed back a lot. Yeah. So it's like, it's really cool to have that little thing that says October.
Yeah, I remember that too, because one of our coworkers really wanted it. And I was like, "What the fuck is the Ecto 1?" And he's like, "Oh man, like."
Was it Jonathan?
Yeah,
Jonathan was like the big Ghostbusters.
He also had like a huge Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on his desk. Remember that?
The bank?
I don't know if it was a bank, but it came. It was a promotional item for the game, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It might have been a pre-order bonus or something like that. But he had it on his desk. He was all in on that video game, and I think, like looking back on it now after I've seen the movies, I'm like, I could see how they could. It's totally like fan service, like love letters, whatever the fuck you want to say to fans. And I think I enjoyed playing it even not as a Ghostbusters fan at the time. So I would say, I don't know, I think it was still pretty good.
Yeah, like going back and watching Ghostbusters now, it's a. What do I want to say? Because I don't want to incite.
Hold on, before you go on to the movies.
Okay.
I just want to say the slime gun is really fun in that game. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it is really fun. Because it has the bungee.
Yeah, you shoot one place and then you shoot another place and it like tethers them together.
Yeah. And
you can do really fun stuff with that. So that's all I wanted to say.
There are, with that though, there are places where you can get yourself stuck.
Oh, really?
Because of that functionality. They didn't think of all the things. So there's some points where you can actually get stuck. Like there's, in one of the last levels, there's this thing that you have to rotate. Like you're in some sort of turbine and you're supposed to rotate the thing. But if you don't do it right, you can get stuck between like the two doors. And then there's no way to get out because there's no way to spin it after that.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You know what else is cool about that game is, like, I'm not a huge fan of games with no HUD. But I really like how in that game, what is it called? The Proton Pack?
The Proton Pack
has like your ammo and your life bar and everything on it and you can clearly see it the whole time, which is it's a really neat like visual way to show all of your stats.
Yeah, and they were very clever with it because like they knew that if you could just use your ray to do everything, like you could just use it all the time. There's no reason to turn off your ray.
Yeah.
So you just continuously use it. But in this game, they add the caveat that it'll overheat. So you gotta cool it off manually.
Yeah.
You know, so every so often you're like using it, and then all of a sudden it's like,
yeah.
And then you gotta slam your like lock back in, turn it on again. So it really makes you appreciate how much time you have using your laser thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I'm surprised that the game actually had like design aspects in it. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. For like a game that's being based off of a movie, basically. You know? How often are games and movies like a good idea together? You know, like.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the things. It's like they use the game because I think whoever made the game, and I forget who actually made the game, but they understood that people want to feel like they're actually ghostbusting.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to train them to use this proton pack thing because they want to know how to use it. And the like the slamming thing functionality, and then like throwing out your trap and then like bringing them in.
Yeah,
feels great.
It's fun. Yeah,
it's fun.
I want to say it's a fun game,
and it doesn't get old because each ghost becomes like a different type of puzzle. And if you remember,
I remember that game having like kind of some fun achievements in it too. Like if you did certain things, it would be a little fun, like jokey kind of like if you in the first level of the hotel, there's a ham, and if you like hit it with your proton pack, it says kosher, and that's a trophy or like a achievement, whatever, kosher. I was like, oh, okay, look at that.
I think it's a callback to the movie.
It's like, oh, how fun is that? You know, like little jokey.
And same things like when you burn, like they're like, we got to go through this maze, or you just light the whole thing on fire.
Oh, really?
And it's like easy way out or something.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
so funny. Yeah, that's cool.
They're funny, jokey ones like that. I just like it because a lot of the little nods to the film are a lot more subtle. Like if you're in the firehouse, you see the toaster jumping around from part 2.
Oh yeah.
And then like just walking around.
They have their arcade machines and their like their whole like little room up there, their bunks and everything.
And it looks exactly like it did in the movies. That's what's the crazy part about it is.
And I remember even there's like a note on somebody's computer that's from the movie too.
Yeah.
I forget what it is. Okay, anyway. But we actually did end up watching the movie. The first movie I think still holds up pretty well.
It does. But
aside from like some of the special effects being a little bit.
I personally still think that looks really good because the whole movie is goofy. Right? Because it's like the puppets that are made to look like ghosts are super goofy. I mean, if you look at Slimer, he looks completely ridiculous, and that's supposed to be like a ghost.
I don't even mean that. I mean the
proton pack
Gozer.
Oh,
they're like claymation, and they look like they look kind of
that doesn't hold up. I'll give you that one.
Yucky.
And you notice they only use those sparingly.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm sure. Like when they saw it on film too, they were just like, "It looks like shit."
But I will say, like the movie itself, I don't know how like people call that a comedy. I don't know how much of a comedy it is, other than it's just like a really entertaining movie. Definitely the parts with Bill Murray are funny, but because he's just a sarcastic dude and everybody loves that. But the parts with Harold Ramis. You know, when he's explaining about the Twinkie and he goes, "That's a big Twinkie." Yeah, I mean that's quotable, but is that really funny?
No,
you know, it's like it's not necessarily a funny movie, but it's just a great movie. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what's funny? Like before I saw the movie, it was super hyped up, right? I saw it, and I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, it was pretty whatever. Like I didn't really care for it, right? And I got a lot of people saying like, well, I watched it when I was a kid, and once when you grow up with the movie, it's different, obviously.
Okay.
My question is, who's the audience for that movie?
See, that's the weird thing about it because again,
remember we went to Toys R Us the other day and we saw Ghostbusters like toys,
right?
Like for kids, and it was like Bill Murray and like Harold like as little toys.
But then you saw also the Ghostbusters like the new one.
Yeah,
the one with Melissa McCarthy.
Even the new one has like a queef joke in it, right? Or like
there's several.
And like the original Ghostbusters movie had that ghost that blows Ray.
Yeah.
It's just like I mean, okay.
Not to mention Bill Murray's always just trying to get laid in that movie.
Yeah, it's just like I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's you shouldn't show this to your kids or whatever. I'm just saying like, is that really the audience for the fucking film? Like, it just seems like I don't know.
I think it's a weird thing because again, like you could see how things like Star Wars and like
I would
something else. Star Wars and Transformers, those kind of things are for kids, right?
Yeah.
But then on the other side, you got something like Indiana Jones. Like
Yeah.
that's definitely not for kids.
That's not for kids.
But they
no.
make action figures of it, and all these kids dress up as Indiana Jones, and it becomes like, oh, dude, I'm Indiana Jones. I got the jacket and the whip.
No, yeah, you're right. That's true. That's
but
very
it's
true.
it's just this weird, like when a kid sees a representation of what a man is supposed to be. That's what they idolize, and that's what they want. So like you see somebody like Bill Murray who's like really sarcastic, but he's like this hero and blah blah blah. It's a different type of hero for a different type of person. So I could see why kids want those kind of toys. They're like, look at me, I'm Venkman or whatever.
Really cool suits, I gotta say too. I love how they're basically just like exterminator suits.
Yep.
But like they have,
really play that up too.
Yeah, like they have like their signature patch, obviously, right?
Right.
But then like they have all their sciencey shit on. It looks. I don't know why it looks cool too. It's just like
I think it's because like a charming part of that movie is everything looks DIY.
Yeah.
Everything looks like, okay, Harold definitely built these because they don't look shiny. They don't look like all the wires are exposed, and then you have to like take them off your back, like they hook up to your back. But it's like, and that's the thing. It's like it was designed so it looks like, you know how an exterminator has like the juice or like the venom on his back.
Yeah.
He pulls out the one and he's like pumping it.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to look like an exterminator.
Right.
But you're exterminating ghosts, so it's supposed to look a little like gross and yucky because you're an exterminator.
I love that scene too where they're in the elevator and they're just like we're all carrying like nuclear reactors on our back, and he's just like, yeah, well, go ahead and flip me on, and they flip on Ray's pack. And it starts like winding up, and they both like
they move. It was like, what's
back.
that gonna do?
Yeah. It's just funny though. Like they're like so unsure of themselves. It's their first job.
Again, I think that's the charm of it. It's like a couple things are happening. A startup business. They're at the last leg of their like careers.
Yeah,
and they're taking this giant leap.
Yeah. What's his name? They mortgage Ray's house.
Well, his parents' house, from what I understand,
the house that his parents left him or some shit like that.
Yeah.
To buy the firehouse. But you know what I honestly think makes the movie, because like I said, I saw it the first time and I was like, it was okay. I saw it the second time and I was like, okay, I can see why people like this movie. Like Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray have amazing like chemistry. Like they like really feel like they're just like dudes that know each other, or like I don't know, they're believable in terms of like people that know each other, obviously, but also like something about like the diversity of their faces and like their characters, you know, because Harold Ramis is obviously like smart. He has like the pointy like smart face, you know, and Bill Murray has like the round kind of jokey charismatic face, and then
sleazy is the word I did use.
And then Ray is kind of like the go-getter, like the guy who like, you know,
overly excited.
Yeah. And then you know, it's okay, so Ernie Hudson obviously too, you know, he's in there.
He's the rookie though in that movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this true? I remember hearing this. Is it true that Ernie Hudson was supposed to be in the whole movie?
Yeah, it's the same story I've heard. I think I heard it from one of our coworkers at G4, was that Ernie Hudson was essentially the rookie in the movie. So that's how you get brought into the world of Ghostbusters. Right? But the studio was like, dude, we're paying Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, we're paying them a lot of money. Yeah. It's like, we're going to have them in the first half of the movie.
Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, that's what I heard, at least, I should say. Is that's why Ernie Hudson's not in the beginning of the movie, and he's not in a lot of the promotional art. Like the original promotional artwork for Ghostbusters was just the three dudes. Yeah, he wasn't on the billboards apparently, or some shit like that. So I'm like, okay, well, it sucks that he got, you know, shafted a little bit, but I will say when Ernie Hudson does join the crew, I'm like, oh, it's cool. Like, I feel like there's something about 4. You know,
yeah,
it
feels
it's like a powerful number.
The world of the Ghostbusters doesn't feel complete until Ernie Hudson shows up. Yeah. Because, like, when he shows up, he's just like, if it's got a steady paycheck, I'll take it. So now, like, his coming into the movie almost normalizes the entire thing.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, this is the new guy. All right, we're a business. This is how you set a trap. Blah, blah. So they kind of run you through like a mundane day at the Ghostbusters. Cool about it too, yeah. And he's like, let's get him on board. And then there's a scene where I think it's Egon or Ray. I forget which one it is. They're driving with.
It's Ray.
It's Ray.
Yeah.
Ray is driving around with Ernie Hudson. They're like coming back from a job, and they're having one of those talks, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they just get real serious about why there's so many ghosts all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a cool scene because it's like Ray. The reason they did it with Ray and Ernie Hudson is because Ernie Hudson's coming into this without any kind of scientific knowledge.
Yeah.
And Ray is trying to tell him something's going on, like all this blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, Ernie, as like an everyday person, goes like, "Didn't they say that crap in like Book of Revelations or something?" Yeah. And it's like, "Oh crap, dude!" Like then it gets heavy.
Yeah.
Because when Ray is scared of something, is because he's overexcited. But when Ernie Hudson gets serious about something, that's a normal person getting really freaked out about something. So it's deep.
You know what's cool about that scene too is that it shows that the characters work in pairs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That seemed natural.
Like, yeah, exactly. I think that's one of the things that like. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's like it's hard to replicate that kind of like
dynamic,
like genuine, just like human fucking feeling on screen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I do like that scene because of that, because they're just both casually talking, smoking cigarettes. They smoke a lot of cigarettes in this movie.
Yeah, but it's the '80s. Everybody seemed to freaking smoke. Like, I don't think Egon ever smokes, but it's Bill. Ray is always smoking. Ray, like there's a scene where he has like goggles on and he's got a cigarette literally hanging from his lips and he's like, what? All right, but like, so that's part one, right?
Hold on, real fast. I was gonna say, I do love all the ghosts in it. All the special effects they did on the ghosts, I think, actually still hold up pretty well. It's just
because they're meant to be goofy.
It's just the gozer thing that claim it. That's honestly the only thing.
That really didn't fly, which is why I'm okay with it not being in that many scenes. Like the part where what's his name? The tax guy who wants to
Rick Moranis?
Yeah, Rick Moranis. He's like, okay, who brought the dog? And then it chases him down the street. I really hated the puppeteering in that.
Yeah.
Because it looks bad. And then like because you get a more like I saw it on Netflix, but I have them on Blu-ray.
Uh-huh.
And like it doesn't, like, they didn't mesh it well enough against the background.
Yeah.
So you could tell it's superimposed on it.
The lighting's off, yeah.
Yeah, so it's superimposed on it, and it's just like, eh.
You can tell. I was going to say, too, I love Rick Moranis. I love, like, a lot of his movies. And it's, you know what's weird, too? One of my friends pointed out that he just stopped doing shit.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that.
Do you know why?
Yeah, so the story goes that his wife got really, really sick, like cancer.
Uh-huh.
And so he decided, I'm going to stop acting. And this is like at the peak of his career. Like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Ghostbusters, all these different things.
Sucks.
He had a lot of stuff going for him, man.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, just like, you know what? I'm going to spend the time with my wife. And she passed away. And he's like, and I'm just dedicating my life to my kids now. So that's, he decided to do that. He stopped acting just to be the best dad in the world.
That is
and just be with his kids because he didn't need to work anymore.
That's gonna make me cry right now. That's
the story. Like recently, I think a couple of years back, I don't think it was Esquire. I think it was Vanity Fair or something. They did an article where they caught up with him and it's like, you haven't been in the public eye for this many years, and he told his whole story.
That's insane.
Yeah. Cindy actually was the one who told me that story because it was like with the resurgence of Bill Murray that happened within the last 6 years.
Uh-huh.
With everybody like Bill Murray. That story ended up coming to the
That's
forefront.
crazy.
Isn't
dude.
that great though? Like,
what an amazing man, dude. I've always been a fan of like a lot of his films. And that's why when he popped up in Ghostbusters, I was like, "Hey, look at this! I love this guy." How do you not love Rick Moranis? Dude?
I just also love it. Is that all you want to say? Part one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so in part two, that's the one. Did you see part two again? Or
I haven't watched it recently, no, but I do remember Statue of Liberty and
Part two is way cheesier. And it suffers from that whole sequel syndrome where if it's in the first one, you got to have it in the second one.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I remember not really enjoying the second one, and
it's charming.
And to be honest, like I don't hear people really defending it. They were just kind of like, "Yeah, it's not as good as the first one."
No, you know what? There's a lot of memorable lines in the second one still too. Okay. Not to mention like that funny part where, for whatever reason, they control the Statue of Liberty with an NES Advantage.
Yeah, the
controller.
Yeah, like
I love that.
Stick, yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's charming because you understand why all this stuff is happening, right? They have to go to the mayor, and then the mayor doesn't believe them because they did it in the first one. Mm-hmm. You know, they have to. There has to be like this looming danger in New York City that's going to destroy the city because it was in the first one, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then it just things like that happen, right?
At least Ernie Hudson's in it from the beginning this time.
I love the first scene where you see the Ghostbusters are like they're doing horribly because I believe it's Ray. No, it's not Ray.
Okay,
It's Ray and Ernie Hudson, which is Winston, and they're doing a birthday party.
That's what it was, yeah.
And they're like, we wanted He-Man or something like that, and they're like, well, we're the Ghostbusters, and they sing the song like it's something strange or whatever, and then they're just like, all right, $50, let's get out of here. But they bring their real proton packs, and their car's all busted up. It's just so cool to see them still trying to do that.
They get a new car, right? The Ecto-1B is in that car.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Because it has, they don't mention, I don't think, I watched it just recently. I don't remember them mentioning that it has a trap on the hood, on the top of the car.
Oh, okay.
But they never mention it in the movie.
Why? They don't use it?
They just don't use it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
But it's really funny that they go through the whole, like, they go through the trouble of shooting that new car. Yeah. But it's not like they really use it. You know what I mean?
Correct me if I'm wrong. They have black suits in the beginning?
Black?
They don't have their regular suits on, do they?
No, some of them have the old gray one or the old brown ones from the first one, and then I think Ray and Venkman have the new blue ones.
Oh, okay,
they're like blue ones, right? Yeah, and then Rick Moranis has his own too.
He does?
Yeah, you don't remember that? Like at the end of the movie, he's like, I gotta get to the museum, and he gets on a bus because he doesn't have the car, so he just gets on the bus. But the bus is being driven by Slimer, and Slimer takes him there. See what I mean? It's like charming. Yeah. You know, there's no reason for Slimer to be there, but there is.
How funny too, because like Slimer's such a big part of the cartoon.
Yeah.
Like they took the weirdest parts to like merchandise eyes. I don't know if that's a word, but like,
merchandise. Yeah. But the whole River of Slime thing, I think that's a good storyline because it plays on the fact of like people's emotions and stuff. I just think it was a little more heavy-handed with the whole we got to be New York and we got to be positive, you know, and to get everybody to be positive, you know.
The slime makes people mad? Is that what it is?
No. The slime is, if you can think about it this way, it's like if you think of people being mad and people being happy as an energy, this thing like conducts it.
Okay.
So if you have positive energy, it reacts positively. So that's what made the toaster dance. Okay. Right? But when you were mad at the toaster or whatever, it started bubbling. Okay. So it can make people happier. It like conducts it. So that's why when Ray and Winston are about to beat each other up, it's because they're covered in the slime and they were pissed at each other. Oh, so it amplified it. Okay. You know what I mean? Sure. So it like it's a cool concept. Okay. It's a cool concept, but it's just like if you try to pick it apart too much, it just doesn't make any sense. Like why the slime? Yeah. Did the painting come before the slime, or the slime came before the painting? It's like,
yeah. I was gonna say too. In the first movie, it was kind of heavily implied that Janine likes Harold Ramis. Yeah. And then she kind of ends up with Rick Moranis in the second one, right? Well,
yeah, because just she takes a liking to him. But Egon is like asexual. He doesn't give a crap about it. Because when he's like, "What do you do?" And he's like, "I
collect fungus."
Yeah, and I was like, and he's just plain faced at her. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's just not a guy that's into sex. There are guys like that. Yeah, you know. True. But then, like, she gets together with what's his name?
And they play Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers. This is my favorite line too.
What a product of its time.
I know, right? It's just I love Rick Moranis in the second one because he's all aboard for the Ghostbusters in the second one. He even tries to defend them in court, which I think is really, really great. They definitely utilized their Rick Moranis very well in this one.
So, you liked the new one?
Okay. This is going to be a lot of, like... Oh, man. Is this whole episode just gonna be Ghostbusters at this point? Because I can draw that for sure.
Well, look, I'll just say this. I know the new one got like critically panned and nobody liked it. And
right. I think
I saw. Let me just say this. I saw one trailer and I was like, I don't need to watch this. I don't need to. You know, like if you like the movie, cool. But to me, I was like, it just seems a little bit phony. I don't know. It's weird. It didn't feel. Their jokes and their banter were just so like. This is like a terrible Saturday Night Live skit that just is going on too long. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is
like
past
Wayne's World.
Yeah, this is like, it was like past the half-hour mark. You know, when they shovel out the garbage, no one's watching anymore. It's about to be a showtime at the Apollo. Nobody cares. This is what that was. What did you think of it, though?
I enjoyed the movie, but I think that movie suffered a lot from ad-libbing.
That's what I was... Yeah, exactly.
And it might have something to do with the director. Like Paul Feig's very famous for like letting his actors be actors, but I don't know if he reined them in enough. Because the story is a little... Like, you start out with Kristen Wiig's character trying to like legitimize herself, and then this whole past about ghosts comes up, and then like, she kind of forgets about all that. Like the progression of the story doesn't feel as natural as Ghostbusters, the original.
I see what you're saying.
And each one of those women is really funny. Like, I love them on Saturday Night Live. I love Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all funny chicks, like, in their own right.
No, you're right.
That's why it's so strange that, like,
but
you put them all in this movie and you think, like, man, it's going to be funny. And it's just so fucking not funny.
So here's, like, what happens in this type of movie. Like, I like a lot of Paul Feig movies. I like a lot of Melissa McCarthy movies, but the problem is, like, it's really hard to do an ensemble cast with so many, like, talented people. And I don't know if you'll agree with this, but in Ghostbusters, the standout person is Bill Murray.
Right.
Like, he's the leader because he's the funny one. He gets all the best lines. He does all the most memorable things. In this one, you had Melissa McCarthy and, like, 3 other really well-known comedians, including Kristen Wiig. And they're just, like, they all can't seem to share the spotlight.
Yeah, they're all like screaming over each other almost.
It's not that they're screaming over each other. They're just all so like, I don't know. It's this weird thing where like if everybody's super funny, then is anybody really funny kind of thing. And then like a lot of the problems.
But it worked in Bridesmaids.
No, that's another thing. It's Kristen Wiig who's funny in that movie.
Right.
And the center of the attention is always on Kristen Wiig.
But Melissa McCarthy's really funny too in that movie.
Yeah, but like you see her, there's 2 really. Like, she gets these little bits. You know, like, when you first meet her, she does her whole, like, I'm like this weird old girl, blah, blah, blah. And then her big scene is when she comes up and slaps Kristen Wiig and is like, here, I'm life. I'm coming after you. And then she does the whole, you know, don't repeat that. I'm security. And that's where she shines, where she's that character, right? But, like, the person that you're focusing on is Kristen Wiig's life. I don't think they had that part in this because
I'm not okay. Let me just stop you real fast. I'm not sure if this is true, but Paul Feig is known for writing and not directing, or is it the other way around?
He's known for directing, not writing.
Okay, because Ghostbusters, I believe he wrote and directed.
Okay,
and that's where it kind of went wrong because he's more of like a director and not like a other guy. Like the story was a little bit like okay, that doesn't really. They don't get to these points very easily, and it doesn't really feel like a real movie or something like that. Red Letter Media has you guys covered on that one. It's like,
but you know what? I think I figured out. It's the movie feels way unfocused.
Okay.
I think that's the deal because at some point they try to make the movie about Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy's character like rekindling after all these years. But then they really don't because like she's already found a new best friend with the other girl from Saturday Night Live or the blonde chick.
Okay.
And then they bring in the last Ghostbusters, and she brings the car. Like it's just really unfocused.
I thought the suits were really ugly, by the way.
The suits, I mean, they're about as impressive as the Ghostbusters ones because they're
something
just the
about
gray.
Them is just like
the brown.
But the brown ones were like better.
You know what people had a really big problem with, which I didn't understand, was the ghosts.
What about them?
They were like, oh, the ghosts look terrible. It's like, have you seen the originals? They're like goofy puppets.
I actually in the trailer when there were parts with ghosts, I was actually like, oh okay, something to look at. Like,
yeah,
okay,
no,
special effects,
the ghosts
cool.
look great because they're like CG, but they're really cartoony and goofy. I was like, that's kind of the same sentiment. Remember, like, the ghosts were just like puppets, like Jim Henson puppets. Slimer has like, he's just a big glob, and then like one floats into a taxi cab and he takes off with them. You know, it's like everything's really goofy.
Yeah,
I never understood the problem with these goofy looking ghosts that show up at the end. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. But I understand why people had such a problem with it because it wasn't up to the level of Ghostbusters.
Maybe I'll watch it. Who knows? I don't know.
But I'll say this: there are funny parts in it. It's just the overall story, man. It's just like you'll find yourself asking like, why did they do this?
Yeah,
and it'll bother you.
I heard there was a lot of problems with the comedic timing in general. Like there was, I think it was Red Letter Media. There was a scene where they were just like, we're gonna edit it right now to be funnier, but in the movie there's like a weird awkward pause, and it just seems like the editor himself didn't know what comedic. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. No, I get it. And by the way, the last thing I'll say about it is the addition of Thor as their secretary, but he's really stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that choice. I really didn't.
Yeah.
Unless they were trying to go the exact opposite of the Ghostbusters secretary from the earlier ones, which that still doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't get the addition of him. I really don't.
I just feel like they wanted like a hot guy that they could all look at and touch and poke their fingers at. I don't know. Like it was a weird choice because I remember even when I saw like promotional art for him as the guy, I was like, this looks so fucking fake and not real and not based in reality like the original was.
Right.
Like the original is so like kind of like gritty in a way and basic and like very like these are just dudes that want to start a business, catching ghosts, and that's what they do.
Right.
And the new one, it was so like fucking saturations blown out of like proportion, and like it's just like, yeah, let's make jokes about the old movie or like, you know, like callbacks, huh?
Yeah, like when I first watched it, I watched it with Cindy and I was like, I like this movie. I liked it. And I was like, I think I'll buy it, but I never ended up buying it. And I think that after a while, I realized that, you know what? I did like parts of it, but as a whole movie, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I think too many things bothered me.
I think that's how you know a movie's bad is when you don't even want to watch it over again, you know?
And I haven't. Like, I watch a lot of Melissa McCarthy movies.
Yeah. No,
Spy, Bridesmaids. My favorite one is her and Sandra Bullock in The Heat. It's one of my favorite movies.
I love her in Bridesmaids because I remember hearing an interview with her where she said she kept talking about her wardrobe and how she wanted to dress and stuff. And at one point she wanted to be like, she's just like, okay, I have this shirt that kind of looks like a Guy Fieri shirt. Can I wear that? And they're like, sure, yeah. And she's like, and I got some cargo shorts. Can I wear that? And they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And she's like, what if I just shave my head and kind of make it like spiky hair? And they're like, okay, you can't be Guy Fieri. You still have to play your own character. You can't just be Guy Fieri.
See, and that's where I think Paul Feig allowed her to do that much.
Yeah, exactly.
But then like stopped her right short of it. But I think because it wasn't his script, he was like, no, we got to stick somewhat to the script. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's definitely like the frosting on that movie.
Yeah, I always love. I mean, I guess it's offensive to say fat nowadays, but I like fat, funny people. Like Chris Farley, dude. I fucking love Chris Farley, man, and his weight obviously is a factor in that. You know, like Beverly Hills Ninja or like, you know, Black Sheep.
I haven't thought about that.
Anything where he's like opposite David Spade or like Tommy Boy. Fuck, I love those movies, dude. They're great.
We still quote that movie to this day. Like, have you ever watched Spy? I think if
never watched it. No.
I think if you love Melissa McCarthy, I think you'll like that because there's a lot of humor at her expense, but it's for some reason, like I've always hated Ben Stiller movies because those movies are generally Ben Stiller. Is an awkward situation.
Little angry man.
Angry man in an awkward situation. I don't like those movies. But for some reason, when Melissa McCarthy is in the same kind of situation, it's still funny. Yeah. And it's I don't know. But I watched Spy because I think you'll enjoy that one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it has to do with her weight, you know?
Well, she's significantly more in shape in that one.
Okay, sure. I mean,
And she's coming out with another movie now, which I'm really excited about, where she goes back to college with her daughter because her husband decides, oh, you know what, she's going away to college, so we're divorced now.
Oh, okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't want to compare the two, but she kind of at one point felt like the Chris Farley like equivalent of today, because she had movies coming out like every fucking year.
Yeah, and not to say anything bad about Chris Farley or anything, but he had his stinkers. Mm-hmm. But and Melissa McCarthy's had her share of them, because she's had like, what is that one with identity theft? Okay, like the one with her and what's his name? No, it's not called identity theft, is it? It's the one with her and the guy from Arrested Development.
Jason Bateman?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think that was...
Is that what it's called?
I think that is what it's called.
It's definitely didn't... And she had Tammy, that other movie. I did not enjoy that one either. Yeah. She's had her, like... Yeah, she had the low points.
Ups
but
and downs.
Yeah, but she's definitely had some great roles, too.
We're running out of time here, but real fast, we finished Shadow of the Colossus in its entirety.
Yeah, and... just so everybody knows, it's my first time playing it all the way through.
Yeah, so please check that out. But I wanted to just hear real fast what you thought about it.
The game itself, it's an interesting thing to look at a game that's been remastered. Mm-hmm.
Remade.
But it's like remade.
Yeah.
But they came out, 10 years ago? 20 years ago? I don't know how long it was, but... it's still a lot of fun. Yeah. And I have to say, like, they made the changes that made the game so much more beautiful to look at. Yeah. But, man, like, fighting those Colossus is something that I still have never played before. Yeah. Climbing up Colossus and taking him out in the different ways that we had to do it, there isn't another game that's replicated that feeling.
No, yeah, that's a good point. Is that like it was unique back then when it came out, unique nowadays too, because it's not like it's not like games followed in its footsteps or like it didn't set any trends. No, it was just its sole little game that people were like, you got to play it. Yeah. It's definitely an experience, and nowadays it still kind of has that same feeling.
And it's crazy to think that we were fighting these, or like people were fighting these humongous colossi in like early 2000s. And it was on PlayStation 2. Yeah, it was. Great. And yet, like a couple years later, there was this God of War came out where you're like, oh man, you fight a whole like island or whatever. Yeah. And it still didn't feel as good as this.
No, yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't know what it is. I want to credit a lot of it to like its engine, because when you're on those things, like the ground moves and Wander trips around, and like there's even like speedrunning tricks where people use the momentum of the Colossus's like limbs to fling themselves across body parts, and like it just really feels like it has a great sense of scale. You know what I'm saying?
That was one of the things I want to bring up, because, again, it's unique because you're fighting these huge colossus and you feel the scale of them because of how they move. Right. How you fall on them. Uh-huh. And, like, especially with this one, they dedicated most of the... like, it was built so that as soon as you got to that section... Uh-huh. All the rendering power was to the Colossus. Oh, yeah. So the detail on them is like... they look... well, what's cool is when we played the game, after we finished up the game, you unlocked the gallery. Yeah. Which showed you side-by-side comparisons of then and now. Yeah. And night and day. Yeah, it's just like... it's crazy how... it looked good back then. Yeah. But how much was improved... like now.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
such a weird gap.
It's weird because I saw the differences and I was like... I'm playing this game and I remember it looking like this. Like, it obviously didn't. But I do remember it looking damn good for PS2, so it's a strange feeling. It's almost like when we were playing Day of the Tentacle with like the filter on it, how it's all new and nice. And we were just like, this is how it looked in the original. And then you turn off the filter and it's like, oh,
wow, no, it did not look like
anything like that. Wow, crazy.
The one thing I did want to come across is the Shadow of the Colossus is definitely boss run. It's definitely just a boss run, right? But if you've never played it before, I would say go back and play it, even though it's just a boss run, because the experience of fighting these things is something that hasn't been replicated now, and I think you'll get a great you'll get a big kick out of playing it.
Yeah. It took us 3 hours to beat.
Yeah, in total.
Pretty fast.
Yeah.
I would say on your first playthrough, it'd probably be like 6 hours or something.
Because I had the benefit of having Steven here.
Uh-huh.
And he was just like, okay, this is going to take you forever to figure out, so do this. But I'm guessing that if you go to a Colossus and you try to figure out how to beat them, I mean, the accomplishment will seem even bigger to a person who discovers it for the first time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for sure.
As opposed to me, who was like... There's one playthrough where I just ended up just handing it to Steve because I couldn't take it anymore.
I remember that.
And ironically, is one of the smaller Colossi.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, to me, Colossi implies big, but this thing was like, what? Not that much taller than you.
Yeah, it was bigger than Wander, though, so sure.
But man, just everything about that game is done so well, including the music, the theming, the coloring, everything, because the post-credit sequence is one of those things where, they could have done anything.
Yeah.
They could have just showed the Colossus fighting you or in their natural state, but they show them buried and like almost lost to time. Yeah. They're like, except for the last one. The last one I love that. The last one, spoiler alert, is a huge dude with like this metal or this stone dress
thing, yeah.
And when you actually kill him, he's so big and he's so like fortified that when he dies, he kind of just slumps onto it. Yeah. And he's just left standing there like a statue.
He looks cool.
And it looks so iconic to me. It's like that's the one. And so at the end, when they're going through all the Colossi and how they've been buried or whatever, he's the only one that's standing still.
He kind of looks like Jinzo from Yu-Gi-Oh! If you're familiar with that. He's like a tall dude with kind of like a dress thing on.
Yeah, but that fight was great.
It was.
That fight was great.
It was really cool.
Not my favorite fight, but that fight was great.
No, yeah. Definitely like an amazing experience all the way through. There are some things that might frustrate modern gamers, I'll say that much. Traveling to the Colossi, it's not always like you don't know where you're going.
Right.
Aggro tends to get stuck on stuff. Wander himself plays a little bit janky, kind of like a PS2 game would.
Yeah. I think it's getting to know the engine itself because every kind of game has its own physics type of engine.
Yeah. And
Wanderer feels really floaty.
I was gonna say, I read this on the Wikipedia page. I'm not sure how certain this is. They made it sound like they straight up took the PS2 version and reskinned it. And now that I was thinking, as I was reading that, I was just like, you know what?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
It felt like 1-to-1. Like, really? I was able to do... I think that's why I was so familiar with the controls still, because, like, certain things worked the way they did in the original game. Like, I was telling you...
But why would they remap the buttons, then?
I don't know. But what I was going to say is, there's an animation of Wanderer, like, falling off like an edge, kind of like holding his balance for a second. You can always cancel that with a jump. And I remember instinctively just doing that in the remake, and I was like, "What? It still works."
That bug still works.
It's so like, I don't know. It almost made me believe that this is just a fucking. They updated the assets, but everything is the same. It's like internally,
I mean, if it's all there,
yeah,
you know what I mean. But I last thing I'll say about it,
it's great.
if you've never played it, play it. And if you played the PS2 version and you want to play it again on this is a very good this is a great version of the game.
It's faithful to the original. Very faithful. Yeah. Like I said, it's almost 1-to-1, and that's coming from somebody who's played it a bunch.
A lot. He played it a lot. Like he was always playing that game.
Yeah.
Around that time in his life.
So I think our final thoughts are going to be pretty similar. We're going to recommend Ghostbusters if you've never watched it. At least the first one.
At least the first one. The second one, again, is charming if you've watched the first one.
And they're both on Netflix, by the way.
Yeah. So not to mention, at this point, Walmart sells them for like freaking $10 in a double pack.
You don't want to go. If you don't want to go to Walmart, they're on Netflix. You can watch them in the comfort of your own home. So
you don't have to deal with people at Walmart.
Yeah.
And if you want to see I can't really recommend the last Ghostbusters.
The newest one.
Yeah. If you're a fan of Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy, I would suggest you watch it just for them. Because they have really funny parts.
That movie's not on Netflix, right?
No, it's not. I had to pay to watch it.
Wow.
So that's how much I wanted to watch it, because I'm a really big fan. And I got the Ghostbusters video game on Steam, and it runs beautifully.
Yeah.
Runs absolutely beautifully. And it looks way better than it ever did when it actually came out. And if you have anything above a 980, it'll run so nicely.
And,
so nicely.
And Shadow of the Colossus is actually only a $40 game for those that don't know that.
It's well worth that price.
It's not $60, it's $40, so...
It's well worth that price.
Yeah, it's definitely worth at least checking out. But yeah, so that does it for this week, guys. See you next week.
See you next week, guys.